where we had an overwhelming number of cases from the university community. That is what maybe gave reason to the circular that the university sent around, that then the university the university community should be aware of what is happening so that they will take the needed precautions. So yes, it is not a localized resurgence, I would say. We'll be having these cases, and it is expected because we are in the rainy season. And during this time, we are expecting to have a lot of these respiratory infections coming up, especially the influenza-like illness. Yes, we are talking about not causing severe disease, but spreading very fast and getting a wider scope of people, within a short time. But when we have vulnerable groups within the society, then we should be very careful, because it may not be so severe on the very, let's say, immune competent persons or younger ones. But what about those who are vulnerable in the society?
So that was the head of virology at the Noguchi Memorial Institute, Professor Kofi Boni, speaking to us barely 24 hours ago, talking about the fact that the resurgence isn't localized and that they are getting cases from other parts of the country. However, delivering an urgent statement in Parliament, the Health Minister, Kwabena Kando, explains that the situation is under control and currently confined to just the University of Ghana campus. Listen to him.
The recent COVID-19 cases are localized at the University of Ghana community only. I'm proud to inform this House that the cases were detected through Ghana's influenza surveillance system and confirmed by the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research. This national network of centennial sites operates across all 16 regions. While many countries have scaled down or even stopped routine COVID-19 testing, Ghana has continued to integrate COVID-19 monitoring into its broader surveillance of respiratory viruses. This foresight and commitment to preparedness allowed us to detect the current outbreak easily and respond swiftly. It is a clear demonstration of Ghana's leadership in maintaining vigilance even after the end of the global emergency phase. This should reassure all Ghanaians that should there be any cases outside the university campus, our surveillance system remains active and ready to detect and respond effectively. Mr. Speaker, as at now, 316 suspected cases, 107 of those cases have been confirmed as COVID-19. Fortunately, Mr. Speaker, there are no hospitalizations and, more importantly, no deaths.
So that was Kwabena Kando there, contradicting what Professor Kofi Boni had told us earlier. Now, the health minister revealed further that the spread was occasioned by a recent whole-week celebration on the University of Ghana campus. He explains that all support have been provided to the University of Ghana to help it contain the spread.
Mr. Speaker, so far, the outbreak is limited to the university community. It has not spread widely to other parts of Accra or the rest of the country. As I mentioned earlier, all confirmed cases are recovering well. Mr. Speaker, after sending a team to investigate, we found a few key issues that fueled the spread. The biggest factor was a recent hall celebration held in the university. These events brought large crowds together with little use of face masks or distancing. Following our investigations, even after the university community became aware, we also noticed a drop in adherence to basic COVID-19 safety protocols and some challenges with contact tracing. Mr. Speaker, once the first signals came in, we moved quickly. Here's what we did. Sent a national team to work with university and municipal health authorities, held meetings with the Director General of Ghana Health Service, head of Noguchi, and the School of Public Health. We issued alerts to all health facilities nationwide. the university suspended all hall week activities, launched a campus-wide education campaign using posters, campus radio, and student leaders.
So that is coming into our candor there. Now, meanwhile, the health minister has revealed that he has set up a specialized desk at the health ministry to directly deal with any person or persons seeking to donate any health material or equipment to Ghana. He says he wants to end the previous situations where such materials were stuck at the ports.
We keep getting calls from people outside the country, all over, in the whole world. Oh, we have consumables, we want to come and donate to Ghana. We have some equipment, we want to come and donate to Ghana. But once we get to Ghana, we go through frustrations in clearing and what have you. The policy direction from today is that we have created a desk at the ministry. So if you have any equipment, any donation whatsoever, that you are going to give us free of charge to contribute to the health needs of the country, you come to that desk or you call that desk, we will then take you to the processes. You consign the consignment to the ministry. And once it gets here, we will then expedite action on the waiver. So you will not be asked to pay any duty on the items you are going to donate. And so the ministry stands ready. If there is a need, and it will even requires that people from the ministry must travel outside the country to assess the equipment, especially when they are in large quantities. Whether or not we have the need for those equipment or those equipment are in good condition, we will then send our people to travel outside the country to go and assess the conditions of these equipment or consumables before they are brought into the country. And for that matter, I will announce a line that anybody interested can call so that you will help us together to build a very strong and robust health system in the country.
Oh, this is Top Story brought to you always by Telecel, connecting energies. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Now, time for us to bring in people who really understand what's happening. And to join us is Professor Kofi Bonny, Head of Virology at the Noguchi Memorial Institute. He is joining us via phone now. Prof, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. In terms of, the spread, we hear 107 cases. Do we have more confirmed yet?
Yes, so I think that's the number. Sorry, let me just thank you and also greet all your discerning listeners. So that's the number that has been given so far from the health service. So that's the number that we are working with.
And in terms of, samples that are coming in for you to test, how widespread are these?
Where I work, it couples as the National Influenza Center. And if we say National Influenza Center, what they do is we have different health facilities across the country. So any influenza-like illness that is reported in these health facilities, they bring it over to the center for it to be tested. And it is not only tested for SARS-CoV-2, which causes COVID-19, but for all other respiratory infections, including influenza, respiratory syncytial virus, and all that. So that is what we do. So we don't focus only on COVID-19 cases.
Okay. And in terms of the COVID-19, are we still getting more samples coming in?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. In terms of influenza-like illness, we have to note that it usually has a trend. During the rainy season, the number of cases go up. So it is expected that when we started this rainy season, we will start having the number of influenza-like cases going up from the different health facilities that we have around. So certainly it has gone up. It has gone up. But it is not restricted or it is not limited to only the COVID-19 cases.
Yeah. All right. I'm grateful to you. But from where you sit, what do we need to do to get ourselves, protected from this?
Yeah, but since there are respiratory infections, we still require that respiratory etiquette should be observed by all. And we talk about wearing of the masks, hand washing regularly, distancing yourself from somebody who is obviously coughing or sneezing, and the all other protocols that we need to attend to when we were at the height of the pandemic some years back.
Okay, all right. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining us here. Professor Joseph Humphrey Kofi Bonny is a research fellow at the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research. This is a good time for us to bring in Tony Goodman, who speaks for the Health Ministry. Tony, I'm grateful to you for joining. Now, if the Health Minister says, according to recent, data, this is only confined to the university, what exactly does he mean when Noguchi is also telling us that this goes beyond just the university?
Thank you and good evening to our listeners. The minister referred to the current outbreak of COVID-19 and said that it is actually confined within the four walls of the University of Ghana. And then you also mentioned that the system is picking up influenza-like outbreak in some communities across the country. He's also mentioned that the system has picked up mpox, which is also currently raging some havoc in the country, and has promised that the system is ready to curb this and to make sure that this does not spread further. This morning, before the minister went to Parliament, he was in University of Ghana, met with the Pro-Vice Chancellor, other health workers within the University of Ghana, and made sure that the needed logistic that is needed to fight this virus was provided, and we're told that the case is gradually reducing. That is why the minister has said that the case is actually within Lagos.
How can we trust that indeed the cases are just confined to the University of Ghana when the whole week wasn't just attended by just university students, but some other people who are not students joined in this whole celebration?
Yes, but our system is telling us the information we are giving out. It is the same system we have put in place that has actually announced or has informed us that we have this virus on campus. The same system is telling us that we don't have it because within the Ayawaso West Wogon area, the system is there. If we have it outside the campus, we will know. But as we speak, we don't have. And we have. We will let the nation, we will let people know where we have them, because that is also a means of curbing the spread. Don't forget that we have we have centenary centers across the country and across the system regions. So definitely whatever disease, virus we pick, will go in there and we'll announce to the public. So the system is robust and ready to pick some of those viruses and diseases.
So you're asking us to trust your system, but we must not trust Noguchi, which is going into the testing of the samples that you're sending there.
Yes, the system includes Noguchi. Ghana Health System includes Noguchi. So what I'm not saying the Ministry of Health or Ghana Health Service in isolation. We work together. We were with Noguchi here in the ministry yesterday. We went to the campus with the Ghana Health Service to speak to. So it is a system. It is not as though we are working in isolation. Working together, making sure that we complement whatever efforts the other is doing.
I asked this because earlier we were told that the COVID-19 cases that are resurfacing are not just confined to the University of Ghana campus, but The minister says it's only confined. That's why I wanted to understand whether or not we have to trust you as against the center that is doing the testing itself.
I would stick to what I've said earlier, that this particular COVID is within University of Ghana. However, we have other influenza-like diseases that we are picking across the country. These are not only on campus, but at various places, and we are monitoring, and then we'll actually speak to the public regarding what we are seeing. They may be talking to you about that flu you are referring to as COVID, but we know that there are other flu that is showing as though it's COVID out there, and we are dealing with that as well.
In terms of contact tracing, because like I said, other people attended these all week who are not just students. How is it looking like?
The system is up. Surveillance is currently much on alert. However, if you have some of those sicknesses or diseases and you don't turn up to any hospital, you don't show up at where we are supposed to pick this, it will be difficult. Let's be frank. So it is proper at this moment for all of us to report to hospitals or health facilities when we suspect anything or we are not well. Let's quickly report. That is the only way the system can pick some of those things and then alert the national surveillance system.
So with the 107 cases confirmed so far, how many contact traces do we have?
I don't have the specific, but out of the 316, with the rest are currently under contact tracing. The 107 is what we have already confirmed. So out of the 316, 107 is out. The rest are being traced currently until we get the results out.
But I mean, with the 107 that have been confirmed, they may also, as we understood from the COVID era, then you trace the number of people that these 107 people have come into contact with.
Exactly.
That's why I want to know how many people have we tracked down so far.
That is what I'm saying. I don't have the figure, but the system is currently following up on persons that have come in contact with these persons who have currently been confirmed having this virus. The system is holding them. Don't forget, the way our system is that if we realize that in a house you have one or two persons who have come in contact with these persons who have been confirmed, then they become our contacts. So the system is currently dealing with these persons. When we went into the community, we spoke to the district health management team, and they tell us that they are currently on campus making sure that these persons who have come in contact with them are currently being traced. When we went to the hospital, some of them were brought actually to the student clinic and are currently going through screening. It's periodic. They come, they screen them, they go. So the system is currently doing that on campus.
But this whole week happened, I think, 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not quite strange that we are not able to tell the numbers of contacts that have been traced to these 107 at least confirmed cases.
You do contact tracing. You may have those who actually came in contact with persons who have been confirmed, also having contact with others. The system will tell you that we are tracing these number of persons. We are currently tracing this number. As I speak to you, I don't have that number. I need not to throw any figure out there. I should be sure of the number I put out there. But I can tell you that the system is currently dealing with persons who have come in contact with those who have COVID-19.
Will the COVID-19 dashboard come up so that we can go there daily to see what's happening?
We normally deal with threshold. Immediately we get to a threshold where we are supposed to, we cannot create a threshold for only the University of Ghana campus. we have other factors, variables we need to look at. If we move out of that campus, that means that we are looking at the whole country or looking at a particular region. But this is a place within Greater Accra. So our hope is to make sure that we marshal our efforts to bring this particular virus to its barest minimum. So that is what we are doing. When we get to where we have to be sharing dashboard, we will let you know. But we've not reached that threshold. It's currently within the community and has to be dealt with.
Tony, kindly stay with me. Let me bring in a member of the Health Committee of Parliament, Alexander Kwesi Akwa. Grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, the minister came to you to brief you. How satisfied were you with the responses or with what he briefed you on?
Well, good evening to you and to your listeners. I would say when last Friday we were trying to get a minister to come and brief Parliament, we knew what we were doing, even though there were some hesitation from the majority side. But I would say that it was important he came, because at least he's been able to put to rest the fear of most Ghanaians, and we want to rely on his assurance that look, it's under control.
So you also do agree with him that this is under control. But what else can we do to ensure that we don't get to that period where it moves just beyond the University of Ghana campus?
Well, clearly, I mean, if anybody said that posterity would judge Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the past government, this is the period that we need to bring that up, because we have lessons from the past. We did a lot of planning and preparation, and I guess because of how it was handled in the past, it becomes a bit easier for this government to assure Ghanaians that it can contain it. We may want to now improve on the communication, the public awareness. The public needs to be reminded about the importance of basic public health measures like wearing masks, hand hygiene, and physical distancing, and then perhaps the preparedness of the healthcare professionals. I had the spokesperson of the ministry talking about how prepared they are. We need to have a very good prepared system so that we can contain it if it happens to go beyond our acceptable range.
All right. I'm grateful to you, Alexander Kwesi Akwa. Let me bring in Tony Goodman again. Tony, so beyond the University of Ghana, in terms of the surveillance that we're using to ensure we track down any cases of COVID-19, what is it looking like in terms of what we've done throughout the country?
Yeah, what we've done as a country, for me, it's good. Just that we were concentrating on University of Ghana until we got to know that there is this other flu-like virus also rearing its ugly head in some areas, in some campuses. So that is the only thing that the system is currently looking at that. We have to be thankful as a country that we have a robust system. We have a system that picks some of those things quickly. Since the era of Ebola, when we were able to put in place a better preparedness plan, left this country to go fight Ebola in other country and won. I'm sure that is where we got a better preparedness plan, a better surveillance plan, contact tracing plan, risk communication and social mobilization plan. That is actually what has actually helped this country.
Okay.
We are not doing what other countries are doing in terms of continuous vaccination and all that. Thankfully, in Ghana, we have tested and we have tried treatment of COVID in Ghana, and when we get to that portion too, we'll look at it. So COVID is treatable in Ghana.
But Tony, you mentioned some flu-like, strain that you've come across. What is that one?
Now, yes, that is how it's also an influenza. This is separate from what is happening on campus.
Yeah, but what is that called?
We'll get to the name very soon. But that is why we are saying it's flu-like. Noguchi, Ghana Health Service, and the Ministry of Health. That is what we have picked up, and then we are currently looking into that.
All right.
I'm sure mostly when you have the rains, because of the season, when the rains start coming in, and that also show up, and then comes with cholera and all that.
Okay.
So we just have to use this opportunity to advise our citizenry that what we are looking at is not only COVID. There are other things like cholera, clean our environments, adhere to personal hygiene, and make sure that the food we eat are warm, and then we'll be okay.
Tony Goodman, I'm grateful to you. He is the spokesperson for the Health Ministry. And that's it for Top Story, brought to you by Telecel Connect and Energies. It's now time for us to bring you Newsnight here on Joy 99.7 FM.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. This news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, and on over 30 affiliates across the country. Coming up tonight, hold those in authority accountable, including myself. That's the charge from President Mahama as thousands of Ghanaians gathered in unity, prayer, and thanksgiving.
Even the office of the president, which by the grace of God I now hold, is not above the law. Leadership must be grounded in justice, in honesty, and a reverence of God.
Plus, rare bipartisanship in support of the National Day of Thanksgiving and Prayer in Parliament, as MPs insist there's a lot for Ghana to be thankful for.
Kwaku, we must be thankful of so many. Even the peace that we enjoy as a country, we must be thankful of it. We probably may not be able to compare ourselves to the standards that we want to have achieved by now.
It's good we pray. Prayers, you cannot do without prayers.
But tonight we ask, with struggling health systems, many Ghanaians living in poverty, and workers protesting for better conditions of service, what is there to be thankful for? Also coming up tonight, growing outcry as citizens and concerned groups demand for tougher action from government against illegal mining as attacks on state officials intensify.
You probably should even go to some country and open your skies to them and say they should use drone technology and bomb all these Galamsey sites, because you can map them.
Let's talk to the youth, let's talk to the chiefs, let's talk to this, let's talk to that. It will not work.
Coming up in business.
Well, market competition likely to impact on price reviews by oil marketing companies as some delay adjustment at the pumps today.
From the authority before construction continue.
And later in the bulletin, we'll bring you an inspiring story of a visually impaired student who's made history, first to graduate from perfect 4.0 FGPA at the University of Ghana. We have details of these and many other stories coming up tonight. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi, don't go anywhere.
Small money day, big money day, way too much money day. Telecel Too Much Money promo drop. If you dial *500#, then join them for the Telecel Too Much Money promo inside. You will win 100 Ghana cedis cash for the daily draws, 20,000 Ghana cedis for the weekly draws, then 1.2 million Ghana cedis for the grand draw inside. That be 1.2 million Ghana cedis. You for just reload airtime, then get points wey fit make you win. Make you dial *500# or go the Telecel Play up top. Then book inside riders give the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Telecel, connecting energies.
This promo will be NLA way they regulate them for the Caritas Lottery platform top.
Ade, couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. Me I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me da na ma da with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Always busy on the go. Tap the app, you're good to go. Big dreams, little time. There's a boat for you to ride. Every single time, yeah. While the errands will link up or more, hop in a boat and get out and explore. There's a boat for you to ride, yeah. Make moves with boat. Use code Keep Moving 50 for 50% off your first 3 rides. Download the boat app now. Make moves with boat.
Do you ever wonder how your car's engine is doing as you drive?
Not often.
Does it feel confident and protected, or is it tired and struggling?
I have a busy schedule, so I leave matters of my engine to Shell V-Power. With Shell V-Power, you can feel confident because it is the best ever fuel designed for performance and efficiency. Shell V-Power removes performance-robbing deposits, so you can feel protected.
Fill up with Shell V-Power at a Shell service station near you. Feel confidence, feel protection, and feel performance over and over again with Shell V-Power. Fuel the feeling with Shell V-Power. Go well.
Hello again. Let's begin from here. And remember, you can join the conversation on our WhatsApp platform 055 11 997. So that was the scene at the forecourt of the State House where thousands of Ghanaians gathered for the national prayer and Thanksgiving service, a moment to give thanks to God and reflect on the country's journey. In his address, President John Mahama urged Ghanaians to hold those in authority accountable, including himself. He said that public office is not a privilege for personal gain, but a sacred trust, adding that even the office of the president is not above the law.
Let us speak words that heal, not words that harm. Let us be honest in our dealings. Let us be generous in our compassion. And let us be upright in our conduct. We must hold those in authority, including myself, accountable to the highest standards of integrity and humility. Public office is not a privilege for personal gain. It is a sacred trust bestowed by the people and a responsibility to serve all, especially the most vulnerable of us. Even the office of the president, which by the grace of God I now hold, is not above the law. Leadership must be grounded in justice, in honesty, and a reverence of God. If we want a just Ghana, we must be just in leadership. A nation's greatness is not measured by the heights of its skyscrapers or the size of its budget. The values of its people are the true measure of a nation's greatness.
That was President John Mahama there. Let's get onto the telephone lines and speak to our presidential affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba, who has been following this development. Maxwell, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams has also been speaking about the need for a national plan to develop Ghana. Tell us more.
Yes, Kenneth. So the Archbishop was just one of the many distinguished personalities who graced the event. At the event also, we had parliamentarians, we had the new Patriotic Party led by the minority leader, Alexander Afeno Markin. We had Inspector General of Police, the Chief of Defense Staff, members of the Diplomatic Corps, like all the Speaker of Parliament, all the movers and shakers of the country were present at this particular event. Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, in his message, stressed the urgent need for a sustainable national development plan and a clear long-term vision for Ghana. He questioned and asked what is Ghana's vision and agenda, calling on leadership to rise to the challenge. He expressed optimism that such a transformative the Mahama-led administration, adding that he hopes revenues from the country's natural resources will be directed towards achieving that national goal.
we need a national development plan. We need a national development agenda, a national vision. China has 100 years vision. India, 100 years vision. Dubai, 100 years vision. Ghana, our motherland. Where is our vision? Where is our agenda? All that under the leadership of President John Dramani Mahama, a national agenda and a development plan will be established that compels all stakeholders, irrespective of your tribe, your religion, your background, and your political party, that you are compelled by constitution to follow that agenda, that our money, cocoa, oil, all that we have, our resources, gold, will be channeled towards one common goal, the development of Ghana. Mr. President, your presidency this time around and this mandate is not for you nor us. It's for our children's children. Every vicious cycle that has held this nation back in the years gone by is over. The cycle breaks in the name of Jesus. As I reflected, I realized that in the 50s and the 60s, Ghana was ahead of Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, and even China. We were ahead of them. And I started meditating, and suddenly I said, why has the gold become dim or dark? What happened to us? This state of retrogression under the leadership of our president, John Dramani Mahama, must be reversed. I look forward in my lifetime to see a new Ghana, a Ghana where our sons and daughters will not line up in any embassy for visa to travel out of the shores of this country for greener pastures, but that our sons and our daughters will be born, raised, schooled, educated, and live and work and flourish and thrive within the borders of Ghana, and will only travel outside for vacation and holidays, but not to go and seek greener pastures. And Mr. President, I know that you don't have too many years.
Maxwell, as you mentioned already, there was a plethora of big names at this event. Apart from Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, who else has been speaking at this event?
The General Secretary of the Ghana Muslim Conference was also there. He called on the country's leadership to make meaningful use of Ghana's vast resources, stressing the need for stewardship that benefits all citizens. He also urged leaders and citizens alike to give thanks to God for the abundant natural resources and the gift of human capital the nation has been blessed with. He spoke on behalf of the Muslim community.
If I may extend the questions of God to our country, Ghana, one may continue to ask, the independence that I gave you, the Republican status I granted you, was it by His grace or it was by your might? The gold deposits, the diamonds, the bauxite, the manganese, the timber, the cereals, the tubers, the variety of fruits, the Atlantic Ocean, the forest belt, the Savannah belt, and all that are found in them, as well as the human beings I have given you, qualitative ones, intellectuals and technocrats. Are you the ones who created them, or it is God who created them? He will even question us. The Kwame Nkrumah I sent to you, and the John Dramani Mahama I took away from you, and return him back to you. Are you the ones who created them, or it is us who created them? How then did it take you such a long time to recognize God?
Maxwell, from the State House, the President proceeded to the National Mosque for the Muslim prayers, marking the day. He spoke about unity, we understand. What more could he tell us?
Yes, Ken, there was no big difference between the President's message at the forecourt of the State House at a Christian event and that of the event at the National Mosque. Both centered on the themes of unity and peace. He said Ghanaians must work together to safeguard the peace and harmony the country currently enjoys, while also urging citizens to reject tribalism and division.
As we observe this auspicious day across the country, let us renew our covenant with the Almighty Allah. Let us rededicate ourselves to the work of nation building with honesty, humility, and hope. Let us raise our children to be tolerant, just, and God-fearing. Let us support our young people with opportunities that dignify their labor and unleash their full potential. Let us restore respect to public office.
Well, let's crisscross the country and see how the event was celebrated in other parts of Ghana. Let's head to Kumasi, where patrons of the day warned about the country's future will remain bleak if Ghanaians do not complement prayers with behavioral change. My colleague Clinton Yabua joins us on the line with details. Clinton, what more can you tell us?
Well, the National Prayer Day was duly observed in the region, and the regional was at the Calvary Church, and the what stood out was the commemoration made by an where the principal this fiduciary justice that the country's future will remain bleak if the prayers doing today, observing today, not complemented with behavioral. She complains about handling and the distract resources, including illegal mining, and he says that citizens must transform and that which will intend from the future of the country.
Well, thank you very much, Clinton. From the Ashanti region, let's head to the Upper West region and speak to my colleague, Rafiq Salam. We understand that in that particular region, the local council of churches are asking Ghanaians to change their ways of doing things for their development. Rafiq, is that the case?
Yeah, that is really the case. Reverend Dr. Alfred Pieter, who is the chairman of the local council of churches, admonished that the current system, the current kind of peace, tranquility, and also sobriety being enjoyed by Ghanaians should not be taken for granted. And he asked Ghanaians to change their ways of doing things to reflect on the goodies that God has really showered on this country. And then after that, the Upper West Regional Minister, who also graced the occasion, also spoke about the need to reflect on the cultural, religious diversity of the people, and also think about the unemployment, and then also the increasing cases of drug abuse in the region, calling on all and sundry to work towards in order to eradicate this canker from the region. And then there was also the Minister for Employment and Labor Relations in the person of Dr. Residas and Philippe, who also thanked God for how far he has brought the people of this country. From there, they moved to the Orthodox mosque, where the Muslims also converged, and then there were Quranic recitation from the Imam of the Central Mosque, Alhaji Yahya Punjab.
Rafiq Salam is our resident correspondent in the Upper West region. Thank you very much. Well, let's go on to the telephone lines and speak to the acting research officer of the Africania mission, Nufialaga Maufemo Kwabla. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. First of all, I want to find out from you, did you receive an invitation from the planning committee of this event to be part of it?
First of all, let me use this opportunity to thank you very much for the opportunity, and also to greet your cherished listeners. I would say no, we had never received any invitation to partake in the National Day of Thanksgiving and Prayers.
We know that we have the Christian religion, we have the Muslim religion, and we have the African traditional religion, which you represent. So when you did not receive invitation like that, and you saw your Christian brothers, your Muslim brothers receive the invitation and honor the occasion today, let me get your reaction to it.
Honestly, with the Africania mission, we, as an association and a mission, are not happy with what happened. That a nation that we have these three religions well recognized,
and then something of a national character is being organized. And we have been excluded from this organization. I don't know what went into the planning whereby they decided to work on this with the foreign religions instead of inviting the indigenous religion, which is the tradition, to set the pace before the foreign ones to come. They chose to ignore us. So we are not happy about it.
Okay. And when the issue happened like that, did you reach out to the organizers to find out why?
Honestly, from our top hierarchy, did their best to reach out. But, it seems like the organizers have already planned what they want to do. So all attention to reach them profuse. And that is why on our own, for the respect that we have for our ancestors who fought for this land, who shed their blood to secure this land before the foreign religions came, we decided, no, on this occasion, we cannot sit idle and not do anything. So today we equally organize the National Day of Thanksgiving and Prayer in Kliko.
Okay.
At the Africana Mission in Kliko.
Right.
We just closed about 2 hours ago.
Right. Kobla, so we understand that this is going to be an annual event, the National Day of Prayers and Thanksgiving service. And as you've rightly mentioned, you organized your version of it today. If you continue to not receive invitation, are you also going to do yours on an annual basis every year?
Honestly, we are going to send a strong message to the Ministry of Chieftaincy Affairs, the Minister of Tourism, who are all from our region. Let me put this on record. Though I said they are from our region, I'm not saying this for only the Volta region, but all traditional or African traditional practitioners across the country, that we are not happy with the way we've been treated. And we're going to plead with them that, yes, they've made a mistake in the first edition, but the next one, we want our voice to be heard. Are you going to do
that through petition? How are you going to do that?
Sure. That's why I said, yes, though the time of the organization was limited, so we couldn't have the opportunity to officially petition the planners or the Ministry of Chieftaincy Affairs.
Right.
Yes. But that we are going to do that and make sure that we're going to follow the due process to make sure that we are recognized in the subsequent ones.
Right, thank you very much for your time this evening. That's the Acting Research Officer of the Africania Mission, Nufialaga Maufemo Kwabla Nonyigbe. And let's bring you more stories tonight. This time, let's shift our attention to Galamsey, because the fight against illegal mining in Ghana is facing a renewed scrutiny as concerned groups and citizens demand a more radical and forceful approach from the government to deal with the menace. The call to action comes amid brazen attacks on state officials, which have raised concerns about the government's ability to effectively tackle the issue. Or the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey and the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission are the latest call for action, accusing successive governments of merely paying lip service to the fight. Well, former CEO of CalBank and member of the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, Frank Gadu Jr. says the administration after administration has treated the menace like a joke.
Until we go to the head, you are not fighting this thing. Why would you have the temerity to shoot at the Forestry Commission guards doing their jobs? You actually block the road, you stop them. And then the IGP says, I've moved the commanders, I've changed the commanders. The new commanders are going there. It wasn't my chance to make money. You understand me? So the fight against Galamsey, it's complex, but it can be dealt with. if we really want to deal with it.
So your verdict so far on this current government is that they still haven't shown you any real commitment to approaching the problem?
No. Kofi Amabo is talking about river guards, and then I think today they announced something, some office, some new office.
It's a dedicated office that would do
This thing is war. This thing is war. It's affecting, look, water, underground water is stored in aquifers and moves. So if there's galamsey taking place in Boku,
to get us,
it will get you to get you in Accra, you know. And we're joking with it. Right now, all of us are falling sick, and we don't know we are falling sick because a few people, less than 0.001% of the population, has decided that we are going to make money through this way. Why?
You're still live on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. We're also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi and on over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. And news just coming in indicates that the Attorney General has filed an application at the Human Rights Division of the Accra High Court seeking to strike out Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono's earlier application for judicial review, citing a serious misstatement of capacity and a failure to include essential parties, errors that render the process null and void in the opinion of the AG. Well, we will bring details of that writ shortly. First, here's the embattled Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono, who revealed that they have filed fresh processes at the High Court to thwart the committee proceedings. She spoke at a news conference a week ago.
It is this total absence of compliance with all known rules of fair hearing that has caused my lawyers to file applications for judicial review in the High Court to declare all the proceedings void. My lawyers and I can come to the end of the proceedings. The evidence will show that every one of those allegations in the petitions is unfounded and untrue.
Hold on. So that was the Chief Justice, embattled Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono during a news conference a week ago. Meanwhile, our legal affairs desk correspondent Kweku Asante joins us on the telephone lines with details of the fresh processes that have been filed by the Attorney General. Kweku, briefly, what can you tell us? We're unable to get Kweku Asante on the line, but when we do, we will surely get more from him about the current situation where the Attorney General has filed fresh processes. Well, let's take you back to our earlier story on Galamsey and solutions from Frank Edu Jr., who is the former MD of CalBank, is that he wants government to resort to a more radical approach to deal with the Galamsey menace.
You probably should even go to some country and open your skies to them and say they should use drone technology and bomb all these Galamsey sites because you can map them. You know, what is this? I mean, I still don't understand why you would encourage, and you know, it's going to be like Colombia, where eventually the cartels running this Galamsey business will control the politicians because they can fund you to become an MP.
They're actually funding. I mean, CDD have done campaign financing, illicit flow into campaigns financing, and a lot of it is coming from the. In fact, the Speaker himself acknowledged and reprimanded his own MPs.
And they say now 11% of our forest reserves are gone.
It's gone, yeah.
11% is a huge number.
Extremely.
It's a huge number, you know. So, and this is flora and fauna that is required for the sustenance of the entire country. And a few people. And they're getting support. We're paying lip service to this because you're not going to a I'm not there, I'm not seeing it. But you cannot have, I've seen fetus of a baby in the kidney pan. You know the kidney pan? The one it's about this big. And a 7-month-old fetus fits in it in the Galamsey site.
Right, let's head on to the telephone lines and speak to security analyst Professor Kwesi Enin. We will also be engaging the Deputy Forestry Commission CEO Elikem Kotoko. But let me start with you, Professor Enin. There have been concerns that it appears that the fight against illegal mining has really been weak, government after government, and people who are supposed to be in charge of fighting it are being chased with machetes and guns. As a security analyst, do you think that really from the security point of view we can fight this?
We can, but we need dedicated political will that gives specific types of direction about the intervention option. I've said this over the past 10 years. Until we declare Gyasi as an existential threat, looking at the political side in terms of how dirty illicit financial flows will fund politicians to run for public office, distort the economy, and create new hierarchies of power, understanding how economically is destroying our cocoa and our root crops, creating health hazards, all those things. Parliament needs to demonstrate strength by declaring Gyasi an existential. When they do that, then we can use extraordinary measures to fight it. So this slap on the wrist consistently, big fancy initiatives, the funders are sitting somewhere and are laughing all the way to the bank. We are just not serious about it.
Okay. Professor Eddie, kindly reposition yourself. But really, there's been new call for more radical approach. Some are even suggesting a shoot and kill policy. Do you support that?
No way. That actually demonstrates that we have failed woefully. A shoot and kill policy, and I heard something about drones and mapping and dropping bombs. Genocide is not the way out of a fight. We need to identify the enablers. Who are those who are located within the critical justices of the state, who are allowing this activity to go on?
Professor Enin, but there's been calls for a state of emergency to be declared in our forest reserves. If really you do not support the shoot and kill policy, what should that state of emergency entail?
Who are we going to shoot and kill? Is it those who are issuing the licenses for people to go into the forest? Is it those who are doing the illicit financial flows and dumping the money in our banks? Is it those who are distributing dollars? Who should we kill? The ordinary miner who in his or her ignorance is looking for 1,000 cedis to feed, and even that process is still getting sick from the arsenic in the water? No.
Okay.
A state of emergency is a lazy approach to fighting Gyasi.
Okay.
It is just like this, our pay chart for declaring curfews when there's a problem. First declare this as an existential threat. That gives the government the legal basis to use extraordinary measures. And there's a gamut of interventions that can be used. Okay? We are listening to too much chatter from people who just want to hear themselves speak. Let President Mohammed set up a small, high-profile team who understand the networks underpinning this criminal engagement. And if we are bold enough and we throw it back 30 years when this thing started,
okay,
and we can hold everybody, those involved, before a court of competent jurisdiction,
okay,
and start jailing people,
okay,
and seizing assets to reclaim land. then we are starting something.
Okay.
But I can assure you, it will not be an easy fight.
Okay, Professor Kosieni, thank you very much. He's a security analyst. Let's speak to the Deputy Forestry Commission CEO, Elikem Kotoko. Elikem, grateful for your time this evening. There's been calls for more radical approach to the fight against illegal mining because people are saying that it seems all approaches are not working, and now the fresh calls are shoot and kill policy. As a Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission, is this something that you've ever considered doing?
Thank you and good evening to your listeners. I am not sure that a shoot to kill will be an alternative or the most considered radical approach to bringing an end to the menace we have on our hands. I think, or the Forestry Commission believes, there are other ways that this can be done. It is instructive to remind ourselves that since this new government came into office, there's been a more steadfast approach to fighting the canker. There's been more arrests, there's been more seizure of earth-moving equipment, and what we now need is to make sure the judicial system is set up in a way that can fast-track the processes in order to make sure that alone serves as a deterrent. Mind you, Prof made it known that there's a need for political will, which will ensure this menace is nipped in the bud. And President Mahamat has demonstrated his political will to see this come to an end.
Right.
And that is the same thing his Sector Minister, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, is also doing.
Elikem, the political will is what really people are criticizing, that it appears that it's not there, because now we can see the Minerals Development Fund boss enter into Galamsey areas. We see the Forestry Commission enter into Galamsey areas. We see lands and natural resources people enter into Galamsey areas. Really, it appears that we don't really know which authority is mandated to fight the Galamsey menace, and people are saying that this is just for show. You really are not fighting it. You're just pretending to be fighting it when you can really fight it if you want to.
Truth be told, because this is posing an existential threat to all of us, it is the reason why you have everybody concerned and wanting to offer a solution in one way or the other. But you agree with me, it is also the reason the sector minister recently formed the NIMOS, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, which is headed by Colonel Boa, aimed at ensuring that efforts of all the task forces or other institutions aimed at fighting this are well coordinated, so that it doesn't turn out to rather become its own Achilles heel.
Okay. Elikem Kotoko, thank you very much. He's the Deputy Forestry Commission CEO. It's now time for business, and George is here with the latest. George, what's up in business?
Well, a lot of things are happening in business, and coming up in business, the market competition likely to impact price reviews by oil marketing companies as some delay adjustment of the palms from today. And Securities and Exchange Commission warns the public against dealing with two institutions, that is News GH and Ghana News, advertising investment products without the necessary approvals. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your offers, essentials, Synthesis tanks, and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper, so you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no.
But I have to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look. The video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
Cavity protection. This advert is FDA approved.
Every mosquito study run away. Sasso, mi se come tonton preko. Sasso, kum tonton preko. Nani sham ne die demonstronko.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on News Night. Now, market competition is likely to impact and fuel price reviews at the pumps this week. Now, this because several engagements with some of the oil marketing companies have shown that a lot of them are likely to delay adjusting their prices at the pumps, which should have taken effect from today. There is more in this report.
One of the main reasons for the price deregulation policy was to see how competition could force various oil marketing companies to reduce prices irrespective of development on the international market. And it appears framers of these regulations are achieving this based on current development on the market. Prices of petroleum products should have gone up by as much as 5%. However, our engagement with some of the major oil marketing firms revealed that the expected adjustment may happen later this week. We understand that this has been influenced by some trying to look out for what others are doing in terms of pricing. Some of the oil marketing firms have told Joy Business that the prices of petrol will not go up, however, that of diesel will be increased later this week. The decision by some of the oil marketing companies to adjust prices has not gone down well with some consumer protection groups like OPEC, which insist there is no justification for any increase. If the oil companies go ahead to increase prices, it might be the first since February this year.
And that is a Business Desk report. Now, telecoms giant MTN has assured the public that it is working to deal with some technical challenges that has come up as to do with some subscribers trying to purchase data. Now, MTN statement believes that the technical challenge has come about due to many subscribers moving fast to benefit from the 15% more for data bundles purchase. Technical challenge made it difficult for persons to actually get their data since morning. The issue is yet to be resolved as we are reporting now. Now, the Bank of Ghana has given the firm assurance that it will roll out more innovative measures to aid digital and fresh payment systems in the country to aid financial intimidation. The second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Asante-Asiedu, disclosed this to Joy Business on the sidelines of the annual meetings of the Afrexim Bank in Abuja, Nigeria.
The reality is that when it comes to digital banking and digital solutions and payment systems across the world, the industry continues to evolve. So our commitment is to also continue to evolve with the industry and make sure that we're catching up with the industry. I mean, when it comes to regulation, there are two main things: the effectiveness of the regulation, and also now with digital banking and digital solutions and payment systems being rolled out across the world, how regulators can catch up. Because if you are able to innovate using technology, then regulation becomes more efficient. And so that's something that the Bank of Ghana has been committed to, leading across the continent, and that's something that we'll continue to do.
Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Asante-Asiedu. Now, Africa World Airlines has reaffirmed its commitment to being to aid regional integration and seamless cross-border trading. The carrier made this known after it commenced its maiden scheduled flights to Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, today. Bubemefia of the Akosogli State, Tobia Fede XIV, is the founder and board chair of the carrier.
We've since 2012, when we started flying, worked really hard to connect Africa. And that was why very early in our history, we linked Accra to Sierra Leone, Abidjan, Monrovia, of course Lagos and Abuja. Then came COVID, which truncated our progress a little bit. That's why today is very important. We are getting back on track to promote the integration of our continent. Integration is important because in today's globalized world, numbers matter. And that is again the reason why the AU has promoted the concept of Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And we have brought in that direction. We want to support Africa to integrate and face the rest of the world. We have done reasonably well over the years that we've been in operation. Our safety record is great, and that's the kind of tradition we expect to continue. That's service we want to offer our friends from Queen.
And that is Agbubemfia of Asogli State, Togbe Afede XIV. He is the founder and board chair of the Africa World Airlines. They currently fly to Abuja, Sierra Leone, Monrovia, and now Burkina Faso. Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission is warning the public against dealing with two institutions, that is News GH and Ghana News. Now, this is because these two institutions are operating on social media, promoting and operating on licensed investment products in the country. It has argued in a statement that they have not licensed any of the two institutions to carry out capital market activities as mandated by their laws in the country. The Securities Commission is currently collaborating with the law enforcement agencies to clamp down on the persons said to be behind these institutions that are operating investment products without the approval license from the Securities and Exchange Commission. And that's all for business on News Night. Let's do sports, and it's around. That one is actually
all right. Great. Well, to sports now, and the National Sports Authority has stopped construction work on the Nkoko Stadium project being led by Member of Parliament Brian Achampon. Now, this decision comes after the NSA met with the MP and requested that he submit all the necessary documents and seek official approval from the authority before continuing the project. The stadium project was originally started in 2020 but stalled due to lack of funds. Brian Achampon later took it up and began construction again without formal clearance. The NSA says construction will remain on hold until all legal requirements are met. Now, the authority also emphasized the need for proper coordination with stakeholders, including the Ghana Football Association and the Ministry of Youth and Sports, to ensure the project meets national standards. They assured the public that they are not against development efforts but want to ensure all procedures are followed. Now, away from the National Sports Authority now, we're just a few days to the big game between Kotoko and Hartlefolk, the President's Cup. And ahead of that, Hartlefolk have unveiled their new head coach, and it's Masoud Didi Dramani, and he says that his focus is to align with the strategic direction of Hartlefolk board and lay a foundation of consistency and sustainability at the club. The experienced tactician made the remarks during his official unveiling as head coach on Monday at the club secretariat in Accra.
I want to say that I'm honored to also serve in the ranks of Accra House of Folk. I try to understudy the vision of the board, which is the direction of the club, and trying to institute a clear direction with consistency and sustainability. And we try as much as possible to put in place a more progressive development approach. And so we acknowledge what had been instituted over these years.
Well, he also promised to build an identity for Hartlefolk that will make them standouts going forward.
To the board, we are very honored. They gave me the opportunity to pick who I really love to work with, and so I bring along people that I believe and trust that we will be able to institute, and that is why I keep using we. I cannot do the work alone. I need people to join the vehicle so that we can move Accra House of Folk to the next phase of its development. Has a very huge tradition, and we need to build a clear culture within this tradition, and then we need to consolidate a clear philosophy and a clear style of play so that when we appear, everybody can tell that this is House of Folk.
That's Masoud Didi Dramani, the new head coach of Accra Heart of Folk, and he will be facing Karim Zito, who is handling Kotoko on Sunday for the President's Cup at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bao. Is Chelsea still in the Club World Cup, your beloved team?
Yes, they are still there. They're
only just.
They're through to the quarterfinals now. Manchester City are out. And tonight there's a big game between Real Madrid and Juventus also happening.
I wish them well. Thank you very much. Let's read a few of your messages that you've brought in. This one, without a name, it says, concerning shoot-to-kill approach, do the Chinese execute those who do illegal mining, and are people mining illegally in China? Then shoot-to-kill may stop it. The black man is still not capable of managing his own affairs. This is Sami from Kumasi. He says it is good the Attorney General has filed an affidavit to challenge the suspended Chief Justice. She's just trying to delay the process of the committee set up to hear her case. This is from Francis in Accra. He says, in fact, which spirit at all created this Ghana before every group of worshippers want to be recognized in thanking that spirit for Ghana? With this national Thanksgiving coming in, every group of worshippers will be coming out to also be recognized. And those are a few of your messages that you've sent to us on our WhatsApp platform. In other stories tonight, it has taken 175 days, but the NDC government is finally poised to launch its flagship 24-hour economy policy tomorrow, July 2nd. Well, the policy, which was a key campaign promise during the 2024 election, aims to stimulate growth and combat unemployment. Although the policy was prominently featured during the election campaign, it received little mention in the 2025 budget presented by the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiel Atto-Forson, earlier this year. The full policy document has now been released, providing insight into the government's vision for a 24-hour economy. Now, Caleb Ziblim of our research desk has been going through some details and joins me in the studio. Caleb, what exactly is in this 24-hour policy document?
Yes, so it's being implemented in two strands. The first strand focuses on incentivizing businesses to operate longer hours. And to start with, import duties will be scrapped entirely for key raw materials. and manufacturing equipment needed by local industries. Firms involved in strategic agricultural production will also be exempt from corporate income tax. More broadly, companies that run 2 shifts will receive a 25% corporate tax rebate, while those that operate 3 shifts will get a 50% tax rebate. There will also be targeted VAT exemptions, and businesses that operate at night or off-peak hours will also benefit from a special electricity pricing system known as time-of-use tariffs, where more hours of operation come with lower tariffs. Exporters will also get rebates between 2 and 6% of their export values. And companies enrolled in the program would also enjoy priority access to water and electricity, along with fast-track regulatory processes. In addition to all of this, the Development Bank of Ghana will also provide long-term loans at low interest rates to help businesses scale up operations under the program.
All right, Caleb, thank you very much. Let's take you back to our earlier story and speak to a member of our legal affairs desk. It's about the Attorney General filing an application at the Human Rights Division of the Accra High Court, seeking to strike out suspended Chief Justice Getu Tokonu's earlier application for judicial review, citing a serious misstatement of capacity and the failure to include essential parties, errors that render the process null and void, in the opinion of the AG. Kweku, tell us more. Hello, Kweku Asante. Hello, Kweku, can you hear me? We're still trying to get Kweku Asante on the line to tell us about this new suit that has been filed. But let's continue to read a few of the messages. This is Ruben from Judicial. He says the National Day of Prayer is also for repentance and forgiveness. I understand we have Kweku Asante back on the line. Kweku, share with us some details of these fresh processes that have been filed by the AG. Well, unfortunately, we have lost Kweku Asante on the line there. But let's talk about something that everybody loves, the National Science and Maths Quiz. Let's go to our correspondents in the Bono region and also the Western region, Adobia Asare and Collins Frimpong, who are standing by for us to tell us what really happened today. Let's start with Adobia. Adobia, what happened in the Western region contest today?
Yes, Kenneth, so today happens to be the second day of the 2025 regional qualifiers of the National Science and Maths Quiz. And at my place, St. Mary's Boys, Shamar Senior High School, and Secondary College have all secured slots, not only to battle in the regional championship, but also the national championship. Now, Fiasaman Senior High School, although they qualify to face off with the others in the regional championship, have secured a slot in the national championship because of the match they scored. They scored 42 points, and that qualifies them. That causes them to qualify for the national championship. Another interesting thing that is worth noting is there's this school called Alpha Sini.
Right.
They were unable to make it in the first contest. However, they were still allowed some time to participate in the second contest.
Well, let's go to Collins Frimpong to also briefly tell us what happened in the Bono region today. Collins, briefly, what happened?
So the Bono region today started with the last contest for the Bono, and where we had Sacred Heart SHS winning their contest, and they did that against Sinyani, who is currently the zonal champion. But Sinyani has also qualified for the national champion because they amassed over 40 points, 45, which according to the National Science and Maths Quiz rules, when you're able to get 40, you should be able to move through. We also had 3 schools from Ahafo, and the schools that qualified were Samoa Presbyterian Senior High School. We have the Wakese also qualifying.
Okay, thank you very much, Collins Frimpong there. Now, imagine starting university education and losing your sight 2 years later. Well, for many, that would have marked the end of the road, but not for Ephraim Tete. He started afresh, overcame the odds, and made history, becoming the first student at the University of Ghana to graduate with a perfect final grade point average of 4.0. Emmanuel Jivanu has more in our This Abled series.
He dances not just to celebrate a degree, but also to mark a moment in history. The song on his lips is one of triumph and joy.
Even though we graduate as a group, each of us has a unique story of perseverance and achievement that deserves recognition.
Meet Ephraim Aye Orakatete, a young man who defied the odds and made history at the University of Ghana. Today, he stands as a valedictorian, the first student to graduate with a perfect 4.0 FGPA in the history of the University of Ghana.
He's graduating on top of his cohorts and with a final grade point average of 4.0. We have checked our records, and at least for the last 10 years, possibly more, we are yet to find any student of this great university with a perfect score like Ephraim achieved.
I feel very excited that I've challenged myself to do something that hasn't been done in a way. So I'm very, very excited about it.
Give the Lord a dance, magnify his name.
And that's how we end News Night tonight. My name is Kenneth, Gyasi. But coming up right after this is Geek Squad with Adobia. What are we discussing tonight?
A lot of updates have happened on WhatsApp. I'm sure some of them you've already seen. People being able to put up pictures and add some songs to it and all that. Tonight we want to talk about the big updates that have happened in 2025.
I can't wait. All the best.